Hello everybody, welcome to London, or I should say welcome to my living room here in London, because that's the best I can do for you at the moment. My name is Joanne Lee and I'm one of the guides who guide the criminal justice programs for select travel here in London. And we really hope we're going to be able to welcome you to London in person in the near future. But in the meantime, we thought we'd put together a little taster for the kinds of things you'll be learning about and seeing when you do come to London. So I've put together a short presentation. So first of all, you can see something about me. That's my name, Joanne Lee, and I have two careers. You can see I'm a solicitor, which is a kind of lawyer. I've practiced law for 20 years, criminal justice, and I'm also what we call a blue-badge tourist guide, a qualified tourist guide. So I show tourists around London, but I specialise in the sort of programs that Select Travel offer in London, learning about, or allowing people to learn about our criminal justice system. When you come to London, you will see this, perhaps one of the most famous landmarks in London. This is Tower Bridge. You might be thinking that's London Bridge. It's not. It's actually called Tower Bridge. And if you look to the right of the bridge here, can you see just low down on the bridge you've got a red double-decker bus, another obviously famous iconic image of London. And then just above that you've got a castle. Can you see these four little towers here with domes on the top? That is one of the oldest buildings in London. That is the Tower of London. And we'll go to the Tower of London and you'll learn about some of the more gruesome aspects of criminal justice history. So things like torture and execution by beheading and hanging during the quartering. We don't do any of that stuff anymore, you will be pleased to know. But we'll do a bit on the history, and we'll also obviously learn about the criminal justice system as it is today. So why do groups come from the United States to London? Well, not just because it's a great city, but because of the close links between our legal systems and our criminal justice systems. And you can really date this back to 1215. This frieze we're looking at now is on the side of our Supreme Court here in London. And what it shows is a document. Can you see right in the centre of the frieze a man kneeling down holding a document? On the bottom of it you can see hanging the seal of King John. And King John is standing to the right of the document, being presented with the document. He's got his crown on, King John. He is being forced effectively into agreeing Magna Carta by the bishops, who are left and right of the king, holding their staffs with their pointy hats, the bishops, and also to the left here in their armour, the barons. It's a peace treaty at the end of civil war, securing rights. And more about Magna Carta in just a moment. You'll see this building when you come to London. This is called Middle Temple Hall. The building to the left here is a dining hall. And that is the interior of the dining hall. And I know that some of you are looking at that and you are thinking of Harry Potter. Harry Potter, the movie, wasn't actually filmed here. But this hall would have been one of the inspirations for J.K. Rowling when she came up with the dining halls of Hogwarts. This hall is still used today by the legal community for lunch and for events. But it dates back to the late 1500s. And back in the late 1500s and early 1600s, the Inns of Court, as we call them, the area where the lawyers these days work, was the centre of social activity for the upper classes, for the aristocracy. So people would meet here to dine, to dance, to attend theatrical performances. The first recorded performance of Twelfth Night by William Shakespeare was performed right in that building we're looking at there, Middle Temple Hall. Now I want you to think now about what was happening in the New World at the time, because the late 1500s and the early 1600s is the settlement of what will become the 13 colonies of eventually the United States of America. Many of the adventurers, the explorers, the investors, and the lawyers who were planning those early colonies discussed their plans right here. Now, how do you start a new colony from scratch? It's quite difficult. You're starting with a blank piece of paper. It's actually much easier to take a body of law with you. So the whole body of English common law, as we call it, decided cases, goes out to form the basis of the legal system in the New World, along with those principles of that document, Magna Carta. So much of what you have is derived from what we have. There are two very important clauses of Magna Carta right in the middle of the document. Clause 39, no free man shall be seized or imprisoned or stripped of his rights or possessions, or outlawed or exiled, or deprived of standing in any way. Nor will we proceed with force against him or send others to do so, except by the lawful judgment of his equals or by the law of the land. Clause 40. To no one will we sell, to no one deny or delay right or justice. Doesn't sound like something out of 1215, does it? It still has resonance today. And it's the basis of the principle of the right to a fair trial, the principle of habeas corpus, you can't lock someone up arbitrarily, and executive being subject to law. So fundamental principles, still part of our system, underpinning your own system. Now, anyone recognise this chap? It's like blurred image, I'm afraid. William Penn, founder of Pennsylvania, born in this country. Became a lawyer, was a Quaker, and being a Quaker in this country in the 1600s was not acceptable. We had religious discrimination. So William Penn was arrested. He was arrested for a tumultuous assembly, and you can imagine how tumultuous it was. Quakers praying in the street. He was put on trial. He represented himself, and he managed to convince a jury of 12 people to find him not guilty. The judge was furious and decided to imprison the entire jury until that judgment. Well, today you will find a plaque in the Old Bailey Central Criminal Court to the William Penn and William Mead, his co-defendant, trial. Because that jury, who'd been locked up by the judge, went to a different judge, the principle of habeas corpus, which you can see referred to here in the plaque. You can't just lock somebody up arbitrarily. You're entitled to a court hearing. Tell me the legal basis of my detention. And a different judge took a different view, released the jury. And as you can see, it says here at the bottom, the right of juries to give their verdict according to their convictions. A judge cannot tell a jury what to do. It's for the jury of 12 people to decide. So jury trial, enshrined in Magna Carta 1215, still used in this country and still used in your own country. There are so many similarities, but also differences that you will learn about when you come to London. This is a famous sign, the revolving sign outside New Scotland Yard, which is the home of the Metropolitan Police Force. And you'll have visits relating to the Metropolitan Police when you come to London. Founded by a man called Robert Peel in 1829. And in the early days, police in this country were called peelers after Robert Peel. In more recent years, they were known as bobbies, again after Robert Peel. These days we tend to call them cops, which is kind of probably because we watch a lot of American television, perhaps. So again, so much crossover between our systems. Now actually in London we have two police forces. We have the Metropolitan Police, which covers the large part of London, but right in the centre of London we have an area called the City of London, and they have their own police. And you can see they tweeted this recently, the City of London Police. They have slightly different uniforms, and they're well known for the sort of red and white checkerboard effect. So I thought this tweet was quite funny from the City of London Police, because I'm not sure if you know who that is on the left. So that's the Duchess of Cambridge, married to Prince William, future Queen, we must presume. And of course you'll learn all about royalty when you come to London as well. We'll go to Buckingham Palace, probably won't go into Buckingham Palace, but we'll see Buckingham Palace from the outside, changing the garden. We'll learn a little bit about royal history as well. And that is the Palace of Westminster, the Houses of Parliament, the seat of our legislature, where our laws are made. And obviously you'll see that when you come to London. So I hope you've enjoyed this little presentation. It's just a short, as I say, flavour for what we do in London. And I really hope that we'll be seeing you back here soon. Okay, take care everyone, keep safe. Thanks for watching.